Hey, what is going on, Guardians? TBL here, coming back at you guys with some of that Destiny good old-fashioned goodness. In today's video, we're going to be covering Bungie's live Twitch reveal of their Destiny 2 seasons, what those mean, what we're going to be getting in them, and overall how I feel about some of the stuff that they revealed in that live stream. For those of you who don't know, Bungie had a live stream at TwitchCon a few days ago where they got into detail about what exactly they mean when they're referring to seasons in Destiny 2. This is a term we've heard quite a bit from Bungie over the past couple of months, and we finally learned it refers to basically a season of schedules. Basically, there's scheduled content for a set period in time. It's going to serve kind of like a roadmap of content and changes moving forward that we as Guardians will be able to follow. Now, we're going to be going off of a quick summary that Doc Red over on the Destiny the Game subreddit wrote up, so big thanks to him for making this easy for me to process. I actually was at work when this live stream happened, so I kind of had to go back and get the notes post-mortem. And we'll just be going through those about as quickly as we can. Alright, so first up, the summary for everything we got to see in here is that basically the torch has now been passed from the main Destiny 2 Bungie development team that, crafted Destiny and Destiny 2 over to the live team. The live team you'll remember from Destiny 1 as being the team that basically took over after year one. After they finished, the Dark Below, House of Wolves, and then ultimately the Taken King, the live team took over for live maintenance of the game and for, the special live events that we got like Festival of the Lost, SRL, stuff like that. That team that took the mess of Destiny and gave us some really fun, really good times overall in Destiny 1 will be taking over development for Destiny 2 right now, at least for these seasons. And I think that's a good thing. The live team did some really good work with Destiny 1, and we got to see some of their overall goals with this live stream. They want to give us reasons to continue playing. We're going to have new pursuits like rituals and challenges. Think of rituals like monthly events like Faction Rally and stuff like that, and even more. They're also going to be revamping some of the stuff that we are already pretty well acquainted with, like Iron Banner. Seasons themselves are going to last for a little bit of time. We're going to have about 4 seasons a year, so 2 about every half year. Season 1 we're already in the middle of, it's going to be coming to an end very soon, and then Season 2 is going to be marking the release of the Winter 2017 DLC, that Osiris-based DLC. And Bungie spent the majority of this live stream basically giving us a predictable timetable for what exactly we'll be seeing over the course of these seasons. They want to make some rather big changes to the game over the course of this time period. They're going to do some sandbox tuning, we're going to have new features, new content, special armor and rewards and whatnot that are going to be season specific, so if you don't get it in that season, it's not going to be available again. Which really, is kind of addressing the concern that there's not enough stuff to chase in Destiny 2. But they're planning on making it so that you don't feel like you have to play Destiny all the time. You can kind of pick and choose when you want to play it, but that when you are playing it, there's always going to be something for you to do, always going to be something unique for you to be going after. And right off the bat, I gotta say, that sounds great. That's exactly kind of the thing I wanted to hear coming out of Bungie when we went into this. So we're starting off on a good foot, but let's take a look at what's going to be coming in season number 2, the Winter 2017 DLC. Or I guess I should say the season that's coming alongside the DLC, because the way they talk about it looks like those are 2 separate things. So if you haven't bought the DLC, you're probably still going to be able to enjoy the stuff that comes in this change of seasons. First up, we are going to be having the return of some events. The Dawning will be happening this year. Curiously, there's no real word about Festival of the Lost. It looks like that might not be returning, at least as of right now. But when Winter 2017 comes around, when Season 2 starts up, we will be having the Dawning event return. And it's going to bring some really interesting stuff. We got to see some ice hockey. Apparently that's going to be a thing taking place in the tower. We're going to be able to have snowball fights, maybe pop a couple of captains in the face with some snowballs, and some other winter-based Easter eggs all around. So I'm happy to see these themed events are still going to be a thing, and they went out of their way to say yes, these events are going to have effects throughout the Destiny world, not just in social spaces. For these events they always, dress up the social space, the tower. I'm guessing the farm is going to be dressed up. To participate with whatever kind of events going on, it looks like that's going to stretch out maybe into Crucible. Maybe we'll have some changes in Crucible maps, but also out in public zones like, the European Dead Zone and whatnot. I'd like a snowy European Dead Zone, that'd be cool. But alongside these events, we're of course going to be getting specific armor, weapons, shaders, and possibly even new emotes. This is not anything really too new if you've been playing Destiny for a while. With the live team, these new events usually herald the mark of some really fantastic new armor sets. If you can remember the Dawning set from last winter, that thing looks so cool. The Lantern set was just great looking on Titans and whatnot. Crafting unique looking, like event specific glamour gear has always been a really strong point for the Destiny live team. Bungie's live team has really been good at doing that sort of thing, whether it be for big events like the Dawning or SRL or something as small as Crimson Doubles. They are really good at making these events fun and making them kind of worth your while to chase. So yeah, hopefully this event gear is going to be unique in that it's, not just complete recolors of already existing armor. I wouldn't be surprised if it were that either. But like I said, the live team is generally pretty darn good at crafting some unique bits of gear to kind of match the themes of their events. But speaking of unique events, they went on to talk a bit about the Iron Banner, and they had some interesting statistics for it. Apparently about 1,500 years worth of time was played between all Guardians in the Iron Banner. That's rather impressive. I didn't really know that Iron Banner was that popular this time around, but I'm glad to see people still found reasons to jump on and play. And thankfully, this Iron Banner kind of served as a beta test for Bungie to see how exactly we would interact with the loot system, and they seem to have taken some of the community feedback on that to heart. Because of course, the loot system, the token system I think is mostly fine for Destiny 2, but when it comes to Iron Banner, people want to be able to buy their own specific rewards. I didn't really understand them taking away, the vendors selling a specific bit of armor or specific weapon that you can work your way towards, as well as having, the faction-based engrams. I think that's a fine system to have. But when it comes to the Iron Banner, we're playing that to get Iron Banner gear. So allow us to buy some gear from the vendor. Allow us to buy stuff directly from Lord Saladin. And of course, change the way the drop algorithm works so that people aren't getting like normal Crucible gear from in-game drops in Iron Banner and from the engram drops themselves. And thankfully, it seems like Bungie agrees. They went on to state that they understand that the token economy is not always the best for everything. And in the future, they're going to allow us to directly buy certain items from Lord Saladin, utilizing legendary shards as well as the Iron Banner token, which is a great change in my opinion. Exactly what the Iron Banner tournament needed. And also, for Season 2, there's going to be some very exclusive stuff. For example, in the future, some armor sets from game modes like Trials of the Nine and the Iron Banner are going to have ornaments attached to them, and those ornaments are going to require that you complete a certain objective in order to activate them, so like winning 10 Iron Banner matches in a season, or going flawless in Trials of the Nine. This sounds fantastic and is definitely something right out of the live team's playbook. They're the ones responsible for the fantastic ornament system we got for raid gear and trials gear in Destiny Rise of Iron, and you guys know how I feel about the ornament sets in that. They were fantastic. It gave you something to chase and it made you look really, really unique. So I'm glad to see that's going to be returning in future seasons, especially with stuff like Iron Banner and Trials. And of course, these seasons are going to feature different, unique weapons and armor sets for these game modes. So the weapons and the armor that we were able to get from Iron Banner in Season 1 isn't necessarily going to be the same as what we're going to be getting in Season 2. As a matter of fact, we got to see what some of the new Trials weapons and Iron Banner weapons are going to look like. Again, giving you a reason to run these events from season to season to season, and this kind of stuff is going to extend into faction rallies as well. Factions are going to be getting completely different armor sets in Season 2 from what they had in Season 1. The same is going to be said for their weapons. We actually got to see some of the new armor sets for the faction rally, and they look pretty good. I gotta say, once again, New Monarchy looks like it's probably going to take it in terms of best overall looking armor set, but hey, what else is new, right? And speaking of Faction Rally, they also spoke a bit about wanting to change the way Faction Rally kind of works so that you're more encouraged to run content in a fire team. They mentioned that running stuff in a fire team wasn't as effective as running it solo. That basically tells me, they probably don't like people just running in and out of a cave on Io or on Titan, but thankfully they said they're not going to be nerfing any solo methods for grinding up your factions. They're just going to be buffing some of the fire team based stuff because they want to encourage that you run it with friends or with a clan. That tells me they're probably going to be changing up some of the way you get benefits and extra tokens from like running strikes and stuff, which is good because the strike playlist definitely needs some help right now in Destiny 2. I mean, there's a reason why I'm just sitting back and running strikes on Destiny 1. It's a lot more fun and a lot more rewarding. But anyways, moving on, they spoke a bit about what's called a clarion call. Clarion Calls are going to be events that task players with a different objective every time they show up, granting you special rewards when you complete them. The first Clarion Call event is going to ask players to play in activities alongside your clanmate, and by doing so, you'll be able to unlock double EXP for yourself. Now, that might not seem like a lot, if you're already max level, what do you need double EXP for? But basically what that says to me is it's time to start farming bright engrams. I can imagine with double EXP, running around farming Flashpoint public events is going to be getting you a ton of EXP, a ton of experience towards leveling up and getting some of those bright engrams, which of course is going to get you the Eververse items, especially the new Eververse items, because we also talked about that. Bright engrams and an extension Eververse will be getting entirely new rewards. They're going to be swapping out everything from the exotic ships, the exotic sparrows, the ghosts, the emotes. Everything is going to be changing up in there between seasons. Which means, of course, we're going to have some season exclusive items there in Eververse. It's actually going to function as a collection now, where, you might not be able to get the season 1 stuff anymore. So if you haven't already, go get that John Travolta confused emote right this second. So that changing, rotating stock of special things inside Eververse is going to be part of the reasons for why Bungie wants you to come back and play the game. A season passes, well, we've got all kinds of new stuff for you to go after. That certainly scratches a bit of the itch that's really kind of missing for Destiny right now. And of course, the stuff you've already earned, the emotes and whatnot, you've already gotten from your bright engrams, and that's not going anywhere. It's just the available stock is going to be changing between the seasons. So yeah, it gives you kind of a little bit of an incentive to jump on, play, and get as much as you can. Or, if you're kind of like me, as many duplicates as you can get your hands on, because there's a lot of those going on right now. Moving on from there, they talked a bit about Crucible. Of course, they introduced the Distant Shore map, which is the remake of Shores of Time from Destiny 1. They introduced that with the Iron Banner. Apparently, that sort of thing is going to be continuing. They are going to be introducing new and different maps within some of these upcoming events and rituals that are going to be coming throughout the season. So, maybe that means we're going to be getting some more classic Destiny 1 maps. I think a lot of people would like to see Rusted Lands. I would love to see Anomaly. I think that'd be a map that'd be great with the new 4v4 game mode. But we'll be seeing rotating themed maps going out throughout these events moving forward as well. And of course, alongside the Crucible, we've got our Sandbox tuning. Ooh, this is the point where everybody starts to groan because we have no idea what Bungie's going to do right now. But they basically talked a bit about how they diagnose metas. They can see the usage numbers for everything, class usage, ability usage, which guns people are using, how effective they are, and they're going to be tuning things based off of that, which means one thing. Goodbye to your double pulse nades. I can guarantee you there's going to be some sort of change coming to that. Rest in peace, you had a great run. But Sandbox changes, balance updates, all that's going to be coming between seasons as well. We're probably going to have at least a few of those moving forward. And finally, of course, we've got the changes coming to clans. If you don't know, clans basically will be resetting in between seasons. So if you got your clan all maxed out and you're enjoying the crazy XP and extra drop rewards of that, well, when season 2 starts in about a month or two, your clan level is going to reset, and they do this to kind of keep all the clans on equal footing, give you something to chase. You want to log back on and get your clan back to being leveled up so you can get those extra rewards and whatnot. And of course, they're going to be changing some of the buffs in between seasons as well. Next season, it might not be a buff for, killing Cabal enemies, it might be a buff for defeating Vex. Basically, you'll have new perks to earn that are targeted at what the game's goals currently are. And that, of course, will be tied in with the DLC and what's going on with story and all that kind of stuff. Not too surprising there. But that's pretty much it. Bungie's going to be live at Paris Games Week this week, and they also say they're going to have some other live streams coming up soon. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a few next month in November to, of course, detail the upcoming DLC in December. But that's pretty much it, Guardians. That's basically what the seasons in Destiny are referring to. And overall, I think, this was nice of Bungie to do. I enjoyed it. I'm glad we've actually got a bit more of a roadmap going forward, a more regular schedule for us to base our game time on. It's just good to know the kind of changes that we'll be seeing moving forward. But really, there's nothing really too surprising that Bungie revealed during this live stream. There's nothing game-changing. We didn't get any specifics about balance updates or anything like that. So we'll have to hold on a little bit longer if you want to learn stuff like that. But if I had to make one quick notion, I couldn't let this video end without saying something like this. The beginning of this stream, they talked about passing the torch from the main dev team over to the live team. Of course, we talked about the live team and the work they did for Destiny 1. And I just can't help but sit back and think, man, so the main main dev team just kind of comes in with Destiny 2, makes a bit of a mess of things with people being super bored with the game, running out of things to do so quickly, and then just takes this mess and turns to the live team and says, "Here, fix it." I don't know, just something about that picture just makes me laugh and say, oh man. But thankfully, you know, of course, the live team does have a pretty good track record of giving players something to do, something to chase in Destiny. They're known to take community feedback pretty well and do some real work towards kind of filling some of the gaps that players are really experiencing with Destiny right now, and I've got high hopes for them. I think they're going to do a pretty good job, at least I hope they're going to do a pretty good job at keeping us busy while the main dev team is off, presumably working on some of the DLC packs for Destiny 2. But anyways, we'll have to see. I mean, I love Destiny 2, but if the game, you know, doesn't change significantly enough to keep my interest, I'm just going to go back to playing some of the other things that I'm playing. I mean, we got Super Mario Odyssey coming out this week. That's going to be an incredible time waster for me. But we'll see what Bungie has in store for us coming soon. But there we go, Guardians, that's pretty much it for this one. What do you guys think of Bungie's seasons, the way they're kind of scheduling things for us moving forward? Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.